Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host, and it is Tuesday, April the 15th, and a beautiful day outside. We've had a really gorgeous past few days, gorgeous weekend. Of course, it feels like it should be a Monday for me because I was out yesterday, but nope, it is Tuesday, which is actually nice too, because that means it's one more day closer to the weekend for me. I hope you all are having an absolutely amazing day. If you're watching on our website or on our through our mobile app, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, soon to be TikTok as well. We do appreciate you watching there. And let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching from here in Jackson area, if you're watching from any of our communities around Jackson or even further away, I get to, like I say, always enjoy getting to interact with you guys during a interactive newscast. It is a newscast, but not like your traditional newscast, to give you some information on things that are happening around the area. But I do appreciate all of you for tuning in. Before we look at the stories that we have today, including some burglaries that are happening in South Jackson, a man getting sentenced for human trafficking, plus a businessman who has made his endorsement for the Jackson, or who he thinks should be the mayor of Jackson ahead of the runoff election, not the primaries, but the runoff for the primary election, which will be next week. We have all that information for you in a bit, but let's first look outside over downtown Jackson, where, like I said, it is a beautiful day out there. Beautiful blue, sunny skies, lots of sunshine. Just great. I can't wait to get outside and enjoy it myself. But hopefully you get a chance to go out and enjoy it too. So let's go ahead and jump into the news and talk about what is happening over or what JPD has released information on today about a rash of auto burglaries that has taken place in South Jackson over the weekend. So I do have some security camera footage that we're going to show you. Hopefully you will be able to identify the people that are in these videos. So suspects burglarized vehicles in the Cedar Grove, Swan Lake, Lost Lake, and Mayfair neighborhoods. So this is a couple of the pictures here. They were traveling in a black late model Honda. If you can see, here's two more pictures. It looks as if they possibly are holding guns in their hands. JPD did not say that was the case, but that is what it looks like here. Here's a couple more pictures of them off closer to the road. Here's one trying to get into one of the vehicles. And here is the late model Honda that the suspects are believed to drive. So if you have any information on these people, if you know who they are, if you live in the Cedar Grove, Swan Lake, Lost Lake, or Mayfair neighborhoods, and you have security cameras, check those security cameras, see if you see anything, any suspects that are maybe wearing the same type of clothes in your security camera, and possibly consider passing that along to Jackson Police Department. The number for Jackson Police is, of course, 601 960 1234. Or you can call 601-355-TIPS. So again, this happened over the weekend at South JXN, a rash of auto burglaries, and the suspects are believed to be driving this late model black Honda. So if you have any information, please pass that along to the Jackson Police Department. Now we go to where a Mississippi man has been, who was accused of human trafficking, has now been sentenced. Here he is on the screen for you. So Mississippi Attorney General's office announced on Tuesday that Lonnie Coleman of Memphis was found guilty of 2 counts of human trafficking and 1 count of possession with intent to transfer fentanyl. So on April the 9th, Hinds County Special Circuit Court Judge James Bell, he sentenced Coleman to 20 years for each count of human trafficking and sentenced him to serve 48 years to serve day for day without the possibility of a parole. So 8 years for let me apologize, back up. 20 years for each count of human trafficking, 8 years for possession with intent to transfer fentanyl, for a total of 48 years when he's going to be serving those day to day without the possibility of parole. And what that means when it says day to day, it means sometimes when there's separate charges, you can get sentenced for those charges and you will be sentenced to run those charges or the sentencing concurrently, and he will not be running those concurrently. He's going to be running all 48 years of that. So he's going to be in the custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections as a habitual offender. And we go to where a man has been taken into custody after firing shots at a Jackson police officer. So this happened on Clark Avenue in South Jackson. It's right off of Greenwood Avenue. Scroll in just a little bit closer. You can see here. This is Clark Avenue. We have Highway 51 right here. There we go, to the right of your screen, Highway 51. Clark Avenue is right here, and we have Greenwood Avenue right here. I'll zoom out so I can show you where this is in relation to downtown Jackson. I'm moving the screen really fast. I apologize for that, guys. So Jackson, the downtown Jackson area is approximately here in this red box, and the shooting that happened at the JPD officer is down here in the bottom left of your screen. So according to the Jackson Police Department, they responded to a call of shots fired after 6 p.m. on yesterday. So once officers arrived on the scene, he spotted the shooter. After trying to make contact with the suspect, JPD says the man then fired shots at the officer. The shooter then ran into an abandoned house, and that is when the officer called for backup.
He then called for additional units. Once additional units arrived on scene, the male subsequently did come on out the house and was taken into custody without incident. I mean, it's a sad situation when people have to resort to violence, even against law enforcement. It's sad when people resort to violence, period, but especially against law enforcement.
So several law enforcement agencies did assist JPD in this incident. And we found out today during a press conference from JPD Chief Joseph Wade that Luther Myers, age 33, was taken into custody last night without incident. He's been charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm that was stolen and aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. He did have his initial court appearance today, and he received a $350,000 bond. Upon looking up his Luther Myers, the suspect's name, who was arrested, found that he was also arrested in 2015 for shooting another man in the buttocks on Greenwood Avenue, which is the avenue near where this particular shooting yesterday took place. He was charged with aggravated assault in that shooting. I'm not sure of what the outcome was of that particular shooting, but we do know that he was arrested also in 2015 and charged with aggravated assault for shooting another man. So again, his name is Luther Myers. A picture has not yet been released, but you can always check our website, Wlbt.com, once a mugshot is released, or check our website. We will notify you once a mugshot has been released. I apologize, guys. I've been out for a few days, and it's like my mind is still on vacation mode here. Miss Catherine Brown posting in our comment section that she is watching from San Diego. Thank you so much, Miss Catherine, for watching. I appreciate you very much. You tune in a lot. And of course, like I said before, if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on our social stream, let me know where you're watching from. And you can also post any comments, thoughts, questions, suggestions, anything like that in the comment section during this WLBT Plus newscast. So the man that who shot his Lyft driver 7 times and then ended up leaving her for dead in the woods in 2021 has now pled guilty to his crimes. So Dontarius McGee was 17 years old when he got into a Lyft ride that was driven by Brandy Littrell. During that ride, McGee pulled a gun on her, demanded money, her bank account information, such as her PIN numbers for a debit card, and her home information. Littrell says McGee took her to a wooded area, shot her 7 times, and left her with her phone and car. McGee appeared in Judge Deborah Gibbs' courtroom on yesterday, pleading guilty to attempted murder, armed robbery, carjacking, and kidnapping. He will be serving 25 years in prison and have 5 years probation. We did get to speak with the victim in this incident, and here is what she had to say.
How many people can you say got shot 7 times, crawled out of the woods to get help, and managed to live to tell their story? And I did all that with a bullet that went through the back of my neck that could have paralyzed me from the neck down, but it did not. And like the judge said, and like I've said, I'm extremely blessed, and I'm still trying to figure out what my actual purpose to live was. And, you know, it's a figuring out journey.
So Judge Gibbs also ordered McGee, the shooter in the situation, ordered for him to take anger management classes, technical classes, and for him to complete his GED. Looking back here, Robert Reed tuning in from Vicksburg. Thanks, Robert. How's the river looking over there? We know that the waters are going up. Was expected to crest at 48 feet. I'm honestly not sure where it's at right now, but hope that you are not in the path of possible flooding over there in Vicksburg. Miss Catherine says, welcome back from your vacation. I hope you had a wonderful time. I did have a wonderful time. I did. Carice Christian, again, saying this is horrible. What is wrong with everyone? I can agree with that. It is a horrible situation with the shooting at the JPD officer for seems to be no apparent reason, or no reason has been reported as to why the man would have been shooting at the officer. And then also with the shooting of this victim, the Lyft driver. Thankfully, though, that man will be behind bars for the next 25 years. So there was also an arrest made in Pearl, an illegal gambling shooting arrest. So police arrested this individual. Let me get him up for you so you can see. Here we go. This is him on your screen. So they arrested Ashton Lee Parker of Brandon and charged him with attempted murder after he shot a man over an illegal dice game over this weekend in Pearl. So Pearl police believe he shot the 23-year-old victim in the head. The victim did survive, but his name has not yet been released. The shooting happened Saturday night at an apartment complex on George Kirsch Road, and he is being held without bond in the Rankin County Jail. And a silver alert has been issued for a 51-year-old Jackson man. We told you about this yesterday, but I wanted to tell you about it again because we have not received word that he has been located. So the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation issued this silver alert for the 51-year-old man on behalf of Jackson Police Department. Buford DeMarco Strong is described as being 6 feet 3 inches tall with black hair and brown eyes. This is is him on your screen. So he was last seen around 11 a.m. April the 13th in the 1300 block of Perkins Street in Hinds County, walking in an unknown direction. According to authorities, he was wearing blue jeans and a black jacket with a brown shirt wrapped around his head. Family members say that he does suffer from a medical condition that could impair his judgment. And if you have any information on his whereabouts, please contact the Jackson Police Department or 911. Going back here to our comment section, Robert says that the river is high. Yes, it is, Robert. As a matter of fact, we're going to jump into our weather here in just a second, but I'm pulling up our Riverwalk camera for you guys over the Mississippi River so that you can see just how high the river is. I mean, extremely high, obviously at flood stages right now. So just stay safe if you are over in that area. Before we jump into a brief look at our forecast, let's hear from our sponsors over at Jackson Water.
Time for a neighborly tip from Jackson Water. Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water?
No!
What if I run the garbage disposal?
No!
How about if I use dish soap at the same time?
No!
Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. Jackson Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you so much to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. Enables us to bring you this show plus others like our weather shows that we do to you and additional content. We've got some really cool content coming up for you guys over the next several weeks. So you want to make sure you are tuned in here to WLBT Plus. Let's look at our current temperatures outside right now. It's pretty nice, but actually pretty pleasant out there with the sun and clear blue skies and sitting at 73 really across the area. That's the main number, but really sitting in the mid 70s across our area. If we look at our radar right now, you can see we don't have any rain on radar, and I don't believe that we are actually expecting any rain. Looking at the next 12 hours, you can see, nope, we're not expecting any rain. We are expected to drop down into the low 50s into our overnight hours. And if we look at our next 7-day forecast, it's going to be another beautiful week on tap for us, really jumping up to almost to the 90s by this weekend. Wow. But still beautiful weather all the same. And we know it's just going to get just a lot hotter as it gets nearer to summertime. It's going to be up there, but at least we do get to enjoy some of these nice cool temperatures right now. So coming back to the news, a recent filing in the federal court shows that Hinds County officials are questioning whether the federal takeover of the Raymond Detention Center is still needed. So the county is now arguing that the receiver's duties should not be determined until the court looks at the current conditions. In November, an appeals court ordered Judge Carlton Reeves to scale back the duties of the receiver, saying that the appointment could not have control over jail finances. This new filing comes more than 2 years after Reeves ordered the takeover of the jail. The county says that if the receiver is allowed to go forward, the duties will need to be scaled back more to comply with the Federal Prison Litigation Reform Act. We'll continue to follow this and bring you the updates on it as they come into us. And former Hinds County Sheriff Marshawn Chrysler is now behind bars at a prison in West Virginia. Chrysler was found guilty in February for taking bribes and providing ammunition to a known convicted felon. According to the U.S. Bureau of Prison website, Chrysler is being held at FCI Beckley, which is a medium security facility in West Virginia. There's only one medium security facility here in the state of Mississippi, and that's the Yzoo City Medium FCI, which is in Yzoo City. Chrysler was sentenced to 30 months in prison and given a $15,000 fine. And if you are in Yzoo County, the wait for a high-speed internet access is almost over. There was a ceremonial groundbreaking held yesterday to welcome the service. Satartia. I'm saying that wrong. I know I am, so I apologize. So, utility crews have been working along Highway 433 in nearby Bentonia to get the high-speed fiber optic lines installed. Arkansas-based Aerostal Unified Communications is overseeing the project's process, and the mayor says that the small community of just 56 residents looks forward to have something then that larger cities and towns take for granted.
This is just a blessing for our residents here. We are looking forward to it. We've never had any type of internet service. What we've had in the past is you either worked off of your hotspot or you did not have connection.
We're hoping that by bringing this internet in, we'll be able to bring, hyperscalers or people who want to locate data centers in the county or other businesses that might want to locate that only are not here because they don't have access to sufficient broadband.
So the high-speed internet service is expected to be available by early July. So that is awesome. If a high-speed internet service really doesn't make a difference to a town. Businesses don't want to go where they are not going to be able to hook up to internet and communicate across the world with the internet service, or maybe even communicate with other, if it's a franchise or anything like that, communicate with them through their network. So it's good that they have this not only for the citizens, but also for potential businesses to come into the area. And speaking of businesses, a businessman, and actually the businessman that brought Top Golf to Ridgeland and is bringing loft apartments to McDowell Road, made it clear today in a press conference who he is backing for Jackson mayor, and he is backing Senator John Horn. So Precon Global Investments Group CEO Gabriel Prado endorsed Senator Horn, saying that he is the man who can bring safety and prosperity to the city. He says, I've been in Jackson for over 18 years now, and I've seen the struggles the city has had with security and lack of investment. He went on to say he believes that Senator Horn is the only person capable now to bring prosperity and security to Jackson. So saying that, don't forget that the runoff election is, of course, April the 22nd, which is next Tuesday. So you want to make sure if you support Senator Horn, if you support Mayor Lumumba, if you support the two runoff election that is happening for the Republican candidates, Kenny G or Wilford Beal, his name left me for a second, Kenny G or Wilford Beal, you want to make sure you get out and vote in these runoff elections that is happening April 22nd. Remember, your vote is your voice. You got to get out there and speak your mind at the ballot box. Well, not speak your mind at the ballot box, but speak your mind by placing a vote in the ballot box. Let's put it that way. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of WLVT Plus today. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and at 2:30 today, our First Alert weather team will be here to look at the forecast in a more in-depth way than I did. But we saw it's going to be a beautiful forecast for the rest of the week. So just be prepared for lots of sunshine and lots of sunblock, which I was not prepared with on my vacation, as you can see by how red I am. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 1. I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.